This is the epic outline of Silverstone, opened in 1948, changed from time to time over the years, but still the essence of its place is that it was a circuit built on a perimeter road of a World War II fighter station, and as you can see, there is a lot of flow around the outside of the circuit between the different sectors. Sector 1 twist halfway through Magnus and Beckett, down the long Magnus straight, then you go to sector 2.
Audio check 1 2 1 2. Audio check 1 2 1 2. A very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel here tonight for the PlayStation 5 GT3 Sprint League here on a Wednesday night. We are here at Silverstone for the 5th round of an 8-round season here for Season 5 on the PlayStation 5, and we've currently got 15 cars out on the track here tonight. We were going to have a few more, but unfortunately we had a couple of dropouts last minute down to some issues, I believe, with the current version of this game, and another one was because of some unexpected unexpected occurrences. And yeah, I think we were going to have nearly 20 drivers, if not 20, but I think a few people had to drop out on the day of the race, which is a bit unfortunate, but nonetheless we are here with 15 drivers, which is, I'm sure, going to be good enough for some exciting racing. So let's not despair at the fact that we haven't got 20 cars, because I'm sure that we're going to be in for a treat here nonetheless, with Jazzman and Tynus on the front row. I mean, is this any surprise? Saying that though, Tynus wasn't very far ahead of TJ, Carlo, Max Power and Ludo. It was all actually very close between 2nd and 5th places. They were all separated by about a 1/10 of a second. Jazzman was about half a second ahead of Tynus, but all these guys very, very close in the qualifying, the one-shot qualifying that we had a few moments ago. Obviously Tynus driving in a car which he does not enjoy at all, the Honda, but it will pay dividends, because obviously his points tally will be kept, because he's driven in the Honda all season. Jazzman did actually switch to the Ferrari mid-season, and as a result dropped all of his points. So he's not in the championship battle. Tynus in the house has basically got a walkover for the standings this season. But here we are, up towards the line, getting ready for race 1 of the night. Here we go, round 5 of the season. This is race 9 of a 16 race season, and it looks like we're just coming up towards the line now. It'll be green, green, green in just a moment. Here we are, and we're underway down towards Cops Corner here at Silverstone. Roby had to take a base of action here. The background was all over the curb there as they came in towards Cops, but Jazzman leading. Tynus still getting a decent run here around the outside, coming down towards Magus and Beckett. Has he got a nose alongside him here? They're side by side here, Jazzman and Tynus. Jazzman has the inside for Beckett and will hold on to the lead, but in the background we've got Totally Zero there rattling over the curve a little bit there. Oh, and there's been contact there, as that was a Porsche there of Shark Zulu tapping the Ferrari, was it there, of TJ Carlo wide? So no, it wasn't TJ Carlo, sorry. It was Max Power there who got a tap from behind there from Shark Zulu. So Max Power losing a few places, Shark Zulu dropping down the order a little bit as well. But Jazzman from Tynus from TJ Carlo, with Robo and Totally Zero completing the top 5. Oh, and it's been good, big contact there, huge contact there. That was the Lamborghini, was it, of Caprigia, who seemed to be involved in a collision, and he's had a horror show moment there. Max Power also getting tagged around, so Caprigia and Max Power there having an incident coming through Stowe Corner, which has dropped both of them out of contention here. Max Power with damage there on the rear of the car, still running in P7 though. Caprigia down to 9th place, is now behind Shark Zulu, who goes very wide there coming out of Club Corner. Now he's going to be vulnerable here to the BMW of Kev Sim there, who's down the inside into Abbey, but chaos here in this first lap, absolute carnage right now. We got our newcomer to the league here, Bolt, who is currently doing a decent job here. He's picked up a few drivers, obviously with all the carnage going off in front of him. as that is Keston here looking on the outside of Day here coming in towards the loop. Can he get this move done? That would be incredible if he can keep his momentum here around the outside, getting a little bit onto the grass there, onto the Wellington straight we go. Are we going to be 3 wide here, because Bolt's trying to get involved in this as well? Who's going to back out of this one? Kev Sim there gets the move done on Day. Day's now got Bolt down the inside into Brooklands, but Day trying to keep it around the outside here. Into Luffield they go, and doing a really good job there of keeping his car on the inside. Day maintains that position for the time being, but we've got to go to this battle here at the front, because we've currently got TJ Carlo just ahead of Robe battling over the final podium place. Jazzman has gapped Tynus here by just over a second, so Jazzman looking to be in control at the moment. Obviously was well ahead in the qualifying session and seems to have control in the early stages of this first race of the night, as Max Power is in the pits at the end of the first lap, which is not what you want at all in the sprint league, because obviously there's no mandatory pit stop, so you can't even make up for it later on in the race. Basically, if you come into the pits in the sprint races, then your race is done. That's it. You can kiss goodbye to any chances of getting some good points. But it's currently Jazzman leading the race here, coming through Stowe Corner on lap 2, and it doesn't look like anybody's really majorly close to the driver in front at this point. You've got Kev Sim still with down the back of him. Oh, we've got Law 3000 here making a move on Bolt here into Stowe. And I think he's had that move done. No, he hasn't, because Bolt's defended the inside there going through Stowe Corner. So, Law 3000 try and get a switch back, can't do it, and Bolt still has that position for the time being. Still running in P10 at the moment, as Mario in the background trying to reel these guys in here in 12th place. But what an interesting first couple of laps it has been to this first race of the night here at Motive for the Sprint League here on ACC, and we've got Totally Zero now looking to the outside of Robe defending the inside into Village we go, and what a move there from Totally Zero. Can he have the inside here for the loop? He's managing to pull off an absolutely superb manoeuvre there, and Totally Zero up into 4th place. And I think this is a bit of deja vu here. I seem to remember a move that was very similar to this a couple of seasons ago in Tier 2 on a Sunday night for the GT3 Championship. And Totally Zero there has just done a very similar manoeuvre there on Robe up into 4th place. That time it was on 2 drivers at the same time, but to be fair, that was in Tier 2. This the top level of Motive racing, and he's just got absolutely stuck it on a top level driver like Robe. So that is you know, got to give him hats off to that one. That was absolutely fantastic there from Totally Zero. Jazzman in the meantime has got the lead over Tynus, and he's continued to just eat that gap out a little bit. Tynus has also got a comfortable gap to TJ Carlo of just over a second. Totally Zero obviously ahead of Robe since making that move. You've got Ludo there in 6th ahead of Crazy Legs. He's a few seconds clear of Kessim, who's just ahead of Day at the moment, and then you've got a bit of a gap back to Bolt, who's still got Law 3000 all over the back of him. Mario just waiting in the wings, hoping to try and get involved in this if he can, try and land a knockout blow on these two if they come together. Law 3000 looking to the outside here on coming into Maggots, but Bolt's keeping himself very much there. Oh, Mario, massive slide there as they came through Beckett's. Really got that a little bit wrong. But in the meantime, Bolt is still keeping ahead of Low 3000 as they're coming out of Chapel Curve out onto the Hangar Straight. Can he get a bit of a run here? The Audi and the Bentley here. It's going to be a drag between these two, but it looks like Bolt's just got the better run there coming out to the Hangar Straight, and it's got a comfortable gap here coming into Stowe Corner. He's doing a great job here of weathering this pressure here from Low 3000. 30 still just ahead of Robe. Ludo though is reeling these guys in and bringing himself into this battle potentially for a podium spot, because this train of cars is being led by TJ Carlo, who's running in 3rd place, and you can see them all just constituting up behind him here, so this could be an interesting one. Kev Sim's gapped Day now by just over a second, so he's looking a bit more comfortable in that 8th place is Kev Sim. You've got Bolt, Law 3000 and Mario, that 3 battle for 10th place still going on, but Mario's dropped out of that battle a little bit over the course of this lap so far. As Law 3000, they're just getting a bit wrong coming out of Aintree. Just seemed to tag the curb on the inside a little bit, which put him a bit offline there into Village, but keeping it together for the time being as we come back out onto the Wellington Straight once again here. Jazzman is gapped nearly 2 seconds now over Tynus in the house, so definitely Jazzman with the ascendancy here so far in this race. TJ Carlo still keeping Totally Zero, Roby and Ludo at bay here, but forward them currently running quite close. Saying that though, Ludo seems to have dropped off for these 3 a little bit over the course of that last lap, so not sure what's happened to him, whether it was a mistake or whether these guys have just picked up the pace a little bit, but Ludo there just losing a bit of time to TJ Carlo, Totally Zero and Robe on that previous lap. A few comments coming in here right now. Totally Zero saying hi. Fede Zanetti saying force Jazz to drive 1 lap in reverse to make it interesting, and Kenny says hey Andy, hope you're well mate. how's the season been so far? It's been okay, mate. Yeah, it's been good as always. Yeah, it's good action. We need a few more drivers on a Wednesday night, to be honest, because our numbers are a bit low. But the racing that we see, it always is fantastic, and it's always great to watch. And obviously the guys here, very very clean, very fair races. So it's always a pleasure to be able to watch it and narrate it here live on the channel. But yeah, good to see. Obviously, Kangi taking a season out this season. Decided he wanted to take a bit of a break from it, but it'd be good to see you back out on the track soon, mate. I know you were thinking of taking this whole season off, but if you want to jump in for a couple of races, you know, as a reserve or whatever, it'd be good to see you back out on track. But yeah, good to see you chiming in nonetheless here tonight. But yeah, TJ Carl is still running in third place at the moment ahead of Totally Zero, Roby and Ludo. So they're coming through Abbey here on lap 4 of the race. Jazzman just got just over 2 seconds his gap is right now over Tynus. We've got Caprigia in the pits here at the end of lap 3, which has not gone well for him. Max Power's still sat in the pits, he's been there for a while. Sharka Zulu's also in the pits, although it's not showing as him being in the pits, so I'm not quite sure why that's showing up as it is, because he's actually not that's a bit confusing, that one, because he's not showing it on the pits in the graphic, but he is quite clearly sat in the pits. But in the meantime, this is the battle for third place between TJ Carlo, Totally Zero, Roby and Ludo. Ludo's pulled up onto the back of these guys once again after losing a bit of time to them on the previous lap. So he's definitely bringing himself back into that battle, but this is still the situation, the same situation as it has been for the last few laps here, with TJ Carlo occupying that final podium place. But how much longer is he going to be able to hold on here? That's the question, and that's what we're going to find out, I guess, over the next, well, 20 minutes here, because we're only in the opening stages of this first race of the night so far. Still a long way to go. I'm noticing on the timing board here that Tynus in the house has actually gained a 1/10 of a second on Jazzman on that previous lap. Now I won't read too much into this, because a 1/10 of a second is a 1/10 of a second. We all know that it's not very much, and you know, ultimately it's not going to make the world of difference. But just Jazzman just went 3/10 quicker than Tynus in the first sector there. But I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but maybe it's just a sign that Tynus is matching Jazzman, and maybe, just maybe, might be able to pump in a couple of quicker laps and potentially put him under some pressure. Maybe, I don't know. Am I being unrealistic here? Am I hoping for too much? Please tell me if I am, because I don't want to be sort of delusionally holding on to hope that just isn't there. But currently we've got Mario just over a second behind Bolt here, so this is a battle for 9th place. This is looks like Mario's closing in on him a little bit. What happened to Lowell 3000? Because he was on the back of that battle before, and he's now running in 12th place, so he must have made a mistake. I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but he is now nowhere in this race, as Totally Zero looking to the inside here on TJ Carlo, coming into the loop, and TJ Carlo keeps it around the outside, giving the space on the inside, but Totally Zero not able to make anything happen there. Coming out onto Lincoln straight now, can he get a good exit here? He's having to take a tighter line there out of the corner, because he had the inside as TJ Carlo was a bit wide onto the runoff area. TJ Carlo is still going to have that move into Brooklyn, as Totally Zero looking to the inside, trying to put him under some pressure there, but can't do it. And TJ Carlo, for the time being, is clinging onto this podium place, but Totally Zero is ramping up the pressure here. He's trying to get him to think about what he's doing a little bit, trying to force him into a mistake by throwing a few little feints to the inside. So far TJ Carlo is not taking the bait here, and he's holding on to this one, but Roby and Ludo in the background here. Ludo's actually dropped a little bit of time to these guys on that last lap. He's nearly a second adrift off the back of Roby at this point, but TJ Carlo holding on grimly here for this third place. I tell you that for free, as Jazzman on the previous lap did gain 3/10 on Tynus, so he managed to put a bit of a gap between himself and his old rival there. But here is the battle for third place, still raging on here as we come through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel here on lap 6 of the race. And in the meantime, Mario is all over the back of Bolt here in this battle for 9th place, so he'll be looking to pick him off as soon as he possibly can, I'd have thought. Totally Zero now coming under the pressure from Roby here. Roby all over him coming into Stowe Corner. Now looking to switch back to the inside. Is he going to send one here into Stowe Corner? Totally Zero goes later on the brakes, holds it around the outside, but does he go deep? Will this allow Roby to get a switch back here coming down towards Vale? Here we come. Is he going to defend to the inside? He is going to defend. Totally Zero knows that Roby's looking to try and send it around the outside, but can't do it, and Roby's going to have to continue to wait a little bit longer here. Totally Zero a bit of a slide there as he came into Club Corner, which might allow Roby to get a run here coming down the Hamilton straight. Is he going to have a chance coming into Abbey? I don't think he is. He's going to have to tuck in for the time being, and that has given TJ Carlo, this battle between these two has given TJ Carlo a little bit of respite there in third place. He's now got well over a second, possibly nearly 2 seconds of a gap over this battle going on behind him, so that's really worked out in his favour, these guys scrapping behind him, and just allowed him to just be a bit more comfortable there. But Jazzman in the meantime is still gapping Tynus. The gap's now nearly 3 seconds between these two. So Jazzman consistently 3 or 4 tenths a lap quicker than Tynus at this stage in the race. TJ Carter there running in 3rd place. The battle for 4th still continuing on with Tony Zero Rove and Ludo. What a great fight this is between these drivers who are on the fringe of the podium places, but can they work together and try and catch TJ Carlo, or is TJ Carlo now just going to disappear off into the sunset here with that final podium place? As Bolt and Mario are still battling over 9th and 10th places here, coming down the Wellington straight. We're going to have to watch this one because Mario really piling this pressure on. Obviously Bolt, a newcomer to the league here tonight, making his Motive Racing debut. So far it's been pretty solid here from him. All bit of a slide there as they came through Brooklands. Through Luffield we go now. And Mario, did he tap him in the rear a little bit there, or did Bolt lose it by himself? Not sure, difficult to call that one. Looked like maybe a bit of lag was coming into play there, but here we come through Woodcote and out onto the start finish straight we go once again. And Mario just still a little bit too far away to make it happen here on Bolt. Bolt's doing everything he can. He goes a little bit wide though coming out of Cox. Oh, bit of a twitch as well. But where's Mario? Mario's looking to the outside here coming into Magnussen Beckett's, and he's gone through. He's got the move done, and Mario there managing to finally make that move stick. No, he hasn't. Oh, he's lost it. Mario there, gate sideways. Oh no, and he's spun back. He's gone backwards there, and he's completely lost the car. And Mario there, after working so hard to get that position, has lost it, and that is now Bolt back up into 9th place. I've got to take this call, guys. I'll be back in a sec. So right guys, here we are back again here with Totally Zero and Robo battling out over 4th and 5th places. We've actually lost a driver here from the session. I'm not quite sure who's bailed. Oh, it's Max Power. Max Power's unfortunately left the session here, so he seems to have given up. I mean, he was already in the pits anyway, but I think he's not going to be coming out by the looks of it now, but that's obviously unfortunate there for Max Power. Hopefully he gets himself back in for the second race, which will be coming up shortly after this. But we've still got plenty of this first race still left to go, and currently this battle's still raging on here between Totally Zero and Robe. Obviously with these two running so close and battling each other, it has allowed TJ Carlo to just stretch his legs there in that final podium place. Also it appears that Ludo's made a mistake because he's now 3.5 seconds behind these two, so not quite sure what's happened there to him. Ludo also seems to be dropping back into the clutches of Crazy Legs as well, so Crazy Legs could potentially be in with a shout of a P6 here. Caprighi is coming back into the pits again, so I don't know what is going on here with Caprighi, but yeah, he's been in and out of that pit lane like no tomorrow. So it's been a bit of a patchy, well not even patchy, just a disaster for him, and he'll be hoping for better, I'm sure, in the second race, because he's a driver with plenty of talent, is Caprighi, and you know he's a quick guy. On his day he can challenge for the podium places, but tonight not really his day by the looks of it. But we're currently watching Robe, who's closer to the back of Totally Zero than he's ever been. Is he coming down the Hanger straight? Is he going to have a chance coming into Stowe corner? You can see Totally Zero weaving around, trying to break that toe, trying his best to stop Robe from getting that slipstream here as they come into Stowe corner. Does Totally Zero go a little bit deep? He does go slightly deep, but he parks his car on the inside and Robe has nowhere to go. Bit of lag as well, just obstructing our view there. But Totally Zero defending into Vale Chicane. Here he tries to go around the outside, does Robe. He's going to have to tuck in, he can't do it. And it's still Totally Zero holding on for that 4th place for now. As you can see, Ludo there running in 6th place. He's 4 seconds off of that back of that battle at this point. But Jazzman still leading ahead of Tynus with TJ Carlo running in 3rd, and there is that battle which still continues to rage on. And Robe looked like he had the move potentially done, but couldn't make it stick, and it's still Totally Zero running in 4th place at the moment as we're coming in towards the final third of this first race of the night. And obviously still plenty of action still to be had over the course of tonight. We've got the race coming up afterwards. Hopefully Max Power gets himself in for the second race. As Fede Zanetti is saying, seems like Tynus doesn't have anyone to fight with. Maybe G Sanks will be back at Snetterton. Hopefully he will be. I'll be very glad if he is, because I miss G Sanks. Obviously it's good to have a few guys battling for those podium places, and G Sanks on his day, he can even put Jazzman under pressure. So and it's getting quicker and quicker every time. I mean, last season Tynus absolutely wiped the floor with him, and this season he's been almost on the same page as Tynus, albeit obviously Tynus is driving a car that's not the best, but it shows that he's made big progress over this season. He definitely has. He's getting quicker and quicker every single week. As Robe's still on the back of Totally Zero here, as coming down the back towards Maggots and Beckett's. Is he going to look to try and get a run here coming out of Chapel down the Hanger straight? I'm sure we'll be fancying it as a possibility here. If he can get some good traction here, get onto the power nice and early. Not quite sure. It doesn't really look like he's got enough of a run here out to Hanger straight. It looks like Totally Zero will be safe and sound once again here into Stowe corner. As Bolt here is just coming under pressure here from Mario. Mario obviously had his spin a few laps ago, which dropped him off at the back of Bolt, but he seems to have now brought the gap back down again. So less than a second separating these two. This is one to watch. Totally Zero stood ahead of Robo as they go into the Vale Chicane. These guys 3 seconds clear of Ludo, who's continuing to drop off at the back of them. Crazy Legs keeping the gap to Ludo at about 2 seconds at the moment, so not much is really changing between those two at this point. Bolt and Mario here just over a second now separating these two, so Bolt seems to have had a strong first sector there, or Mario made a mistake coming through the same part of the track where he made a mistake a few laps ago on the back of Bolt. But whatever the case, he's lost a bit of time there. But Robe on the back of Totally Zero still coming down the Wellington straight. Here we go in towards Brooklands we go, and Robe's too far back, isn't even going to try and throw a feint there coming into that section of the track, because he's just not even in the same catchment area as Totally Zero there. And still the same situation here between these guys for the time being. Jazzman in the meantime has got the gap at nearly 5 seconds over Tynus, so he gapped Tynus by about over a second just on that previous lap alone. It was 3.6 at the end of the previous lap, so maybe Tynus has made a mistake there. There's Totally Zero and Robe coming into Cop's corner. Bolt still just under a second to Mario, so Mario's actually gained a little bit coming through the middle sector here on this particular lap. Is Bolt still with Mario on the back of him right now as they're coming out of Chapel Curve down the hanger straight once again. You can see Mario getting closer and closer to the back of Bolt here. Can he get enough of a slipstream here to make a move into Stowe, as we see Bolt there just defending a little bit, weaving out of the slipstream there. Still no dice here. Mario looking to the inside into Stowe, but nothing doing just at the moment there between those two. Oh, with Mario a bit of a slide there on the exit of Stowe, but nothing doing there at all. Still as you were between those two, and still as you were between Totally Zero and Roby into Brooklands as well. They're gapping Ludo consistently, and Ludo's actually gapped Crazy Legs by a little bit more than he had before, so Ludo's now 3 seconds clear of Crazy Legs. He's gained about a second over the last couple of laps. Roby's still trying to put Totally Zero under pressure here as they come in around Woodcut to complete lap 12 of the race. Jazzman coming through Chapel Curve at the moment. Oh, it's Jazzman making a mistake there. Coming through Chapel, dips a wheel onto the grass and had to go straight on there. Well, that would have slowed him down and lost him a bit of time there. I mean, let's face it, he's not going to lose the race win. But could have just maybe... I don't know actually, because look at this. Tynus is miles behind him now. What has happened to Tynus? Tynus has got TJ Carlo right on the back of him here. So Tynus in the house has dropped it somewhere, not sure where. But the gap is now 15 seconds between Jazzman and Tynus. And TJ Carlo within a second and a half of Tynus. I don't think Tynus has got damage. It must have just been a spin. Doesn't appear to be in any real trouble in terms of the health of that car. So I think he's going to be alright here. I think he's going to hold on. As long as he hasn't got damage, he should be able to pull that gap out again. But if he's got damage, that will give TJ Carlo a bit of impetus here to maybe nab second place. But I don't think that's going to happen. Totally Zero still just ahead of Roby at the moment. They're 5 seconds clear of Ludo, who's continuing to keep the gap to Crazy Legs at about 3 seconds at this point. Bolt and Mario still running close here as Mario again sliding the car. You can see just he's got no confidence coming through that part of the track, has he at all? What's going to happen here between these two as they're coming out of Chapel Curve out onto the hanger straight? Bolt once again has got enough of a gap over Mario to be pretty safe there. Robbie looking to the inside of Totally Zero coming into the loop. Oh, and Totally Zero, big of a slide there. Managed to hold on to it really well. Capriglia is back in the pits for the 3rd time here in this race. He should get himself a season ticket to this pit lane here at Silverstone. He should get himself a paddock pass the number of times he's been in. This is unbelievable, but Roby's still in the back of Totally Zero as they're coming into Luffield. Can he get the cut back here coming out of Luffield? I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And it's still the same situation here between these guys. Jazzman in the meantime is on lap 14 of the race, and I think we're going to have 3 more laps, including the one that we're on, because he's going to cross the line before we get to the 0 mark on that final lap, so that will trigger 1 more lap. So it's going to be, I think, a 16 lap race here for race 1 of the evening, which shows that Jazzman has been on some unbelievably consistent pace here over the course of this one. What a performance here from our 5-time champion here at Motive, 4-time champion of the GT3 Championship. He's a 1-time champion of the Sprint League here as well. Obviously he isn't going to win this season's championships, and either of them, because he changed his car midway through the season, but wanted to drive a car that he felt at one with that he felt like he could be competitive with, as such, has almost certainly handed the championship to Tynus, who has been consistently driving in his Honda and has been up on the podium every round, but Tynus just has not got any answer for Jazzman in his Ferrari over the course of this season, as Jazzman coming out of the loop and back out onto the Wellington straight once again here. Tynus there still running in second place. He's gapping TJ Carlo. Despite that's been a few laps ago, he's already pulling out the gap to him by more. Tony Zero still keeping Robe at bay there in the battle for 4th and 5th places. There's Ludo, who's 4 seconds clear of Crazy Legs, who's just coming out of Aintree now. Mario's now ahead of Bolt, so he's made that move. Not sure where, but Mario's made the move on Bolt up into 9th place. He's gapped in now by just over a second, so Mario's done well there to move himself up a place. These guys are nearly 20 seconds behind Day, running in 8th place, and Day is miles behind Crazy Legs, who is the car in 7th. So this, well, I say top 7, separate by about 30 seconds, and then you've got a huge gap back to Day, who's running in 8th. My voice just cracked there. That's a bit embarrassing. Oh, just did it again. But yeah, Day just under a minute off of the lead, and his gap to Mario about 20 seconds. So Mario and Bolt are about a minute and 20 off of the lead, which isn't too bad, but you consider the pace of Jazzman. He's something of a genius when it comes to racing. But he's coming into Vale right now. He's just putting a lap on a driver. Just trying to figure out who this is. I think it's Shaka Zulu. He's about to lap. No, it's not Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu's going through Woodcut. That's Caprigia just going through Abbey. Lol 3000's coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Ah, it's Kev Sim. But Jazzman's about to put a lap on. So Kev Sim, the man running in P11, still going in this race. But he's, yeah, about to go a lap down here on the leader. Or is Jazzman going to not get there in time? It depends. I mean, Jazzman, if he keeps it pinned, if he keeps pushing all the way to the flag, he will cross the line in time to start another lap here. But his gap to Tynus probably means that Tynus won't cross the line in time to start another lap for him. So if Jazzman wants, he could slow it down and probably avoid doing another lap here, because he's got enough of a gap to be able to do so. But does he realise that, and does he want to end the race early? That's also another important question here. I don't think he will want to. I think he'll want to keep going. And Jazzman here out of Luffield and into Woodcut once again. We are going to have one more lap here at Silverstone for the opening race of the night here. It would have actually been a very close call as well if he had slowed down and crossed the line. He would have crossed the line with about 2 seconds to spare. That would have been a risk that probably wasn't worth taking there for him. So Tynus, I think, is going to cross the line just after we get to the 0 mark. You can see in the top right corner we're just hitting 0 now. So yeah, Tynus would have just missed it, but it would have been a close call for Jazzman if he had done that tactic, which I've seen done before, but probably not when it's that tight. Robe in the meantime still keeping Totally Zero at bay, half a second between these two as they're coming down the national pit straight here into Cops Corner once again. We're on lap 16 here at Silverstone for this first race of the night. Jazzman has been in dominant form, but not as dominant as it looks on the timing board, because Tynus did make that mistake which dropped him off of him by a considerable margin. I reckon it'd still be about 5-6 seconds probably if it wasn't for that, but as it is, it's 17 seconds the gap between Jazzman and Tynus. Tynus has gapped TJ Carlo significantly since obviously the spin for Tynus, which dropped him well off at the back of Jazzman. TJ Carlo was about a second behind him at the time, and that gap's now 4 seconds, so Tynus has gapped TJ Carlo by about 3 seconds over the last few laps. Robe's got ahead of Tony Zero, so he's finally done it. Where did he do it? We missed that move. Oh, what a shame. We missed that move, but it must have happened somewhere in the first sector. Robe in 4th place, Totally Zero. Is he going to try and come back at him here and throw the kitchen sink at him on this final lap of the race? Nonetheless, Robe has been on the back of him for so many laps, for the entire race it feels like. So he's going to be relieved to finally get that one done. As we're into the final few corners here, it's Jazzman coming into Brooklands and into Luffield now. He's going to take the win. Here he comes out of the final corner here. Jazzman's going to take another win. It's going to be a very dominant win at that in the Ferrari. As here he comes into Woodcut now, and 18 seconds is the gap. Obviously it wouldn't have been as that much if Tynus hadn't had his spin, but nonetheless Jazzman taking the checker flag here for the opening race of the night here at Silverstone, and an emphatic win with Kev Sim over to finish in 11th place, a lap down on our race winner. Tynus in the house coming out into Woodcote now. It's going to be a second place for him, and some good points here. The championship leader extending his gap at the top of the points. TJ Carlo coming out of Woodcote. It's going to take a podium place here for him. Really solid job. Had the pace over Robe and Totally Zero. Robe managing to mug Totally Zero on the final lap there for fourth place, with Totally Zero over to finish in P5. Ludo a creditable P6 here in this opening race of the night. Driving as a reserve as well. Big shout out to him for coming in and making up our numbers here. We've got Erico also jumping in for the second race as well. Hopefully we'll have Max Power jumping back in as well. We should hopefully have 16, 17 drivers for the second race of the night. Crazy Legs comes over to take 7th place here, as Day's coming into Brooklands here for the final time here in race 1. And it's going to be an 8th place finish here for Day as he gets onto the power here out of Luffield. As here he comes up towards the line. Here he comes over the line there. P8 for Day. Low 3000 and Capriglia both taking the checkered flag in 12th and 13th. So Kessim, Low 3000 and Capriglia finishing a lap down. Mario here coming into Woodcote here for the final time here in race 1. It's going to be a 9th place finish there for him. Shark Azuli's finished the race lap down in 14th. Bolt is coming up towards the line. It's going to be a P10 here for him. Last driver on the lead lap, and Bolt, got to say well done to him for the battle we had with Mario. Not well done for that. Don't do that, Bolt. That's not cool. But yeah, a good drive from him here in his debut race, and yeah, I'm impressed with that. Well done. A couple of drivers that left the session at the end of the race. Not sure why, because we've got another race to come after this. But yeah, hopefully they get themselves back in, and we can get going once again. But that is that then for the first race, guys. Jazzman taking the win ahead of TJ Carlo with Robe in 3rd. We'll see you guys shortly. Join us on our new stream. We'll be going live. I'll be posting it on Discord in about 10-15 minutes. So yeah, see you guys there. Laters.